Hey guys, it is me again, Ron, and I'm flying solo for another episode of Hello Sports Tech Live, episode 39, coming to you from Bangalore. Yeah, viewers of this show will know that Ben and I have been on the road. Ben is occupied in Cape Town. Let's just leave it that way. But no, Cape Town's a beautiful place to be. Berlin, not so much at the moment. And to be honest, neither is Bangalore, unfortunately. Yeah, ever since I've landed, it has been raining, which was a couple of days ago. It has been raining, and it's forecast to rain for the next 4 days continuously. Continuously. There hasn't been a stop in the rain since I've got here, and nor will they be for the next 4 days. Not so great weather to be landing into. But yeah, that is the state in Bangalore as it stands. What is the state in sports tech? Is the question. And that is what we're going to discuss this week in our top five stories. Let me know if you can hear me okay. As always, drop me a line in the chat as we keep going through the show. And with that, I'm going to kick off with my first story, which is something about a platform that you might have heard of. It's called Alt. It's a collectible card trading platform, which raised 75 million earlier this week. That is after a 30 million raise that they did, I believe it was last year. Now, what exactly is Alt? Before I tell you about the story, this is the platform. It is basically a place where you can store your physical trading cards. Yeah, so if you have a physical trading card that you want to put up for sale, you send it to them. They verify the authenticity because we know that trading cards is a pretty serious business, and they store the trading card themselves in something they call the Alt Fort Knox of trading cards. They apparently have over $70 million worth of inventory in their vault. Yeah, some pretty serious money. So yeah, so they keep this inventory, allow people to put it up for sale. You can see these transactions are pretty big, $120,000, for example. That's just one. Others for smaller values, and the person who's buying the trading card need not even take delivery. They can if they want to, but they need not. They can leave it with Alt, and yeah, further flip it or do whatever they want with it. It is an investment that is safely protected. So this is the platform that has raised a lot of money. Coming back to the story, pretty good investors. That they've got on board. They had raised 31 million in March, and they just raised a 75 million Series B. They currently are only about sports cards because that's what the founder is all about. But they also plan to do other things. They will get into Pokemon cards, all your Charizards. If anybody is interested in that, I never was. I don't know why that's such a thing, but there are lots of things that I wasn't interested in that became significant things. So I'm not exactly a great barometer. But yeah, they want to be from sneakers to watches to NFTs. That's what they want to become. Really interesting. The Fort Knox of cards is what they were talking about. And interestingly, 99% of cards stay in the vault after the transaction. 70 million worth of cards in their vault so far, I mentioned earlier. But here's another interesting thing which I quite liked about this story. Um, yeah, exploring a new source of revenue, loaning users money using the card that the user has deposited with Alt as the collateral, which is a really interesting way of, yeah, leveraging the value of the card, shall we say. That, I mean, if you have a card in there which is worth some tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, Why not be able to take a load? And Alt is constantly monitoring the value. They have like a market graph where they are keeping track of the value, which market trends is the page. It says here, I can maybe quickly show it to you, where they have the value of the cards dynamically displayed, yeah, in different sports and how it's trending and such. So you can see hockey, Pokemon, blah blah blah, top rising, top falling. So they're really on top of tracking the value of the cards. So based on that, they with some level of confidence can loan out money against these cards, which is a pretty interesting play. All interesting platform, really interesting use case actually, which is converting collectibles, which is so hot right now, whether it's digital, NFTs, of course, and even physical cards. So much action all over the place. I think this is one story that has a lot of legs. Now, I'm going to try and not preload all the stories. I've decided against that this time so that I have some trends. But what I do have is the next story already lined up for you. And that is an augmented reality project, which I quite like this story actually. So, actually, let me pull up the website of the platform as well. So, while I do that, the Olympics has partnered with um, Microsoft, yeah, to bring you um, the birthplace of the Olympics. It's a place called Olympia in Greece, and this is where the Olympics were first held. And in a partnership with Microsoft and actually, sorry, it's not Microsoft the Olympics, it's the Ministry of Culture and Sport, Greece's Ministry of Culture and Sport, where visitors to Olympia get an immersive experience using AR where they get a ton of information about the place they are visiting, a bunch of historic data about the Olympics, which I think is a really interesting combination of tourism, AR, and sports history. Now, as you can see, let me show you some of these images. Students basically exactly how any AR app would work. They like put up their phones in the place that they're visiting, an immersive experience of the temples and competition areas. So yeah, there were some images of yeah, this is if you use a mixed reality HoloLens, you can see that, okay, in that building, there was a statue of, I think it is Zeus or something. There are different parts of the village that it'll walk you through. Say, for example, this is where the equestrian village was or something like that. And you get information about what the games were like when they were first held. Now, this is, okay, well, it still has to load, unfortunately. But this is a quick look at the platform of what you can see if you actually get there. It might be worth a visit uh, if you're interested in the history of the Olympics. There we go, ancient Olympia. And it walks you through the different parts of the grounds, explore the ancient games, for example. Yeah, you can see what days have what happens in different parts of on different days within the village. Say I explore on day 3 what's going on. You can see, I don't know if you can hear this, but you can see the layout, what happened. I can go into a particular, yeah, the question parts of the games were apparently super important. So stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool, way to history of the Olympics Games. It's a really interesting initiative. Microsoft, what else is good in the story? Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Yeah, there's a video playing here as well, which you can see brings the Olympic birthplace to life. And this has been going on for a while. Apparently, the project started 18 months ago, but it's now come to life. Tech companies racing to deliver mixed reality platforms. Let's see if there are some cool, yeah, you can recreation through the archaeological site. Just a just a story for history fans, shall we say? All right. Now, speaking, oops, look at me. I forgot to change. the title as I was talking through the whole story. I forgot to do that. Champion move. Um, but yeah, sorry about that. That was the caption for the story that I just covered. Speaking of which, the next story, which I'm going to bring to your attention, is in sports betting, which combines AR. And now that is ready. Now, this is an app that we've actually covered on this show before. Quintar is working with the PGA Tour, and they were creating an immersive experience for fans using AR who are visiting sports venues. For example, this is a little video. Yeah, so you can see um, yeah, you can see the shot as it's being tracked. If you're at the event, you can see who shot what on the hole that has just happened, and that's real time. So if you've just come to a hole after some players have gone through, you can see exactly who played what and who's lying where. Really interesting way to increase fan engagement. Now, what they're looking to do further on top of this is to bring sports betting into the AR. The applications, of course, are tremendous. What show events can play? Okay, this is, for example, the hole that Justin Spieth played. Um, Data from SharpLink. So that's the live odds provider, which they can see on the same screen as the AR is playing, which allows them on a real-time basis to get involved in even deeper way, apart from just passively consuming the AR and saying, "Hey, how cool is it that I'm right here?" Um, that is what this is promising to do. Why I like the story, I mean, we keep talking about this increasing engagement between fans and their favorite sports. Yeah, that's their line. That's Quintar's line, and SharpLink is all about sports betting. But we're continuing to see more and more innovation in betting as the states. In fact, New York was the latest state. I think the news just broke yesterday that they have allowed 9 sports betting platforms, given licenses to 9 of them. Some big names were not allowed. I think like Fox, Barstool, the Score. They weren't given licenses, but a lot of the other guys were: DraftKings, FanDuel, etc., Bally's, and so on. And that's a big state. Now, as sports getting gets more prevalent all over the United States, the innovation in betting follows very closely. People are finding apps, companies, startups, broadcasters, leagues are constantly looking for new ways that they can get people to bet on the sports while the sports are going on. So whether it's through the dedicated broadcast, through separate shows, through other types of feeds, and through social channels, and now using AR for people who are at the venue and just maybe want to have a bit of fun. Here, place a sports bet while you're having that fun that you were talking about. Yeah, man, this is getting serious. The money in betting is no joke at all. All right, where do we go from here? We go to a nice little story about another platform which launches their own innovation hub. Yeah, there we go. The Zone, the latest to announce their own innovation hub. This is a result of their acquisition of Texel. Texel is a Tel Aviv-based company. Some greatest innovations that we've seen in sports tech and actually in tech in general, of course, come from Tel Aviv. DAZN has covered that, or DAZN has decided that they will launch their own innovation hub, um, by which will be the Texel offices. So it's about a 50-man team that they will take over. What DAZN hopes to create at the end of it, they will create a bunch of interesting products for their own streaming offering, which, I mean, DAZN is primarily, I mean, they are all over the world. They have a bit of some rights in the US, but they're biggest markets are Germany, Italy, and I believe Japan, if I'm not mistaken, where they've acquired a lot of sports rights. Yeah, so whatever streaming products that they have in whatever markets that they operate in, Texel will become the hub or the innovation hub, which is the old Texel offices, shall we say, will become the source for any of that innovation. Interesting story. So we're going to see more innovation in streaming, maybe it's along the lines of the betting that we were talking about earlier. That is to be seen. It's usually, though, betting is not as big a thing in Europe, though DAZN does operate in the US, but not so much. Yeah, coming back to the story, the Texel developed a lot of proprietary cloud-based video technology that synchronizes various feeds for OTT platforms, creating engagement channels, and yeah, as always, that's their vision to redefine the viewer experience by creating richer, more relevant, interactive content. I think that is a key word in that story. There was another part of the story that I wanted to talk about, which is that, yeah, let me pull up that as well, which is actually close to the previous one, which is the zone talks about integrating a bunch of different offerings into its service, which includes different types of streaming, includes betting. We are looking to build ancillary revenue streams, says Peter Parmenter. I think, hope I pronounced that right. The zone senior vice president of business development, and they want to find new ways to increase revenue. And this comes, yeah, they want to leverage their technology and digital experience to hit the US sports betting market. So yeah, even though they're not as big there, I mentioned just now, but this is another part of the story. The zone will probably use their innovation hub to deepen their offerings in the sports betting market. Their subscription will remain their primary focus of revenue, of course, but they want to find new ways. We're open for business in women's sport arena. We're open for business in different areas. Yeah, of course they are. They're just looking to find better ways to grow advertising, betting, and e-commerce revenue. So I missed that point. They want to further grow e-commerce revenue, which is an important part of the offering. So a lot that the zone will get into. And we quickly check on the chat. Guys, you leave me hanging here. I'm doing a show all by myself. It's 10:50, 10:48 here in Bangalore. It's on a rainy day. I need some energy. I hope you're feeling me. Give me some love. No? All right, I'll keep going. All right, and lastly, I'm going to finish on a pretty good story, which comes from the NBA. The NBA is working with Apple to make your watch parties a whole lot better. Now, let me pull this up while, there we go. League Pass, which we've covered also previously on the show, which has some watch party functionalities, is now only getting better, apparently. What does that mean? It means that there is minimal lag. I think that's the summary of the story. I think rather that's certainly the most important part of the story. But the idea has now given us this age-old problem of what people in different parts of the world watching sports. So Apple allows SharePlay to connect with family and friends while on FaceTime. So you're using FaceTime basically combining League Pass and yeah, you're going to watch your favorite basketball games with whoever you want to in completely near real time. Is what they promise, a personalized interactive viewing experience. So what they want to do is that five people can do this together. Yeah, it also blocks out ambient noises, where one could, oh, sorry, we all had, yeah, everybody had some basic controls. So whatever happens on one screen happens for everyone. Um, Coming from direction, I mean, they enhance how the audio comes into the feed. I mean, integrated with Twitter. The whole idea is that they make the whole experience better. And of course, this is the enhancements that have been made on the Apple platform, which I have no connection or interest in having connection to be honest. There's of course the watch party option, which is on the NBA.com app. You can do it directly there for Android or on your mobile or on your laptop. But the story for now is that NBA is deepening its connect with streaming. And one of the interesting reasons for this is they want to launch a personalized streaming service for basketball fans. This is something that they laid out in their 2022 agenda. They had an event about this recently, and they talked about an NBA broadcast. That's the first line of the story, which I quite like. An NBA broadcast that's tailored just for you. So you can choose your commentator, you can choose your angle, you can basically do the whole thing yourself. And that is a big part of their direct to consumer offering. It's powered by Microsoft Azure. They've been talking about this platform for a while. The story says in April 2020 it was announced, and they want to use AI to enhance the game viewing experience. But it says the unveiling of this platform will be next year for the 22-23 season, and they want to get into they want to own the direct relationship with their fan, says the CTO Matt Wolf. Krishna Bhagavatula is the CTO. Matt Wolf is the head of global strategy and innovation. But anyway, they work with companies like Sector Spectrum and so on. The idea is that, and also, yeah, biometrics, I have to mention that part, will introduce customizations for advertisers, signages. Yeah, I mean, you'd get ads that are super relevant to you. Where's the biometrics bit? Yeah, so they want to connect your biometrics to have basically some sort of measurement, maybe probably your heart rate that it's going to be tracking. Is not much else. I don't know if you're like me, also very interested in this video that is going on. How to make coffee, portable housing made from coffee. Yeah, we leave that story aside. We're going to talk about, yeah, it's going to connect to biometrics to see how you're, yeah, reacting to the game that you're watching, and basically do sentiment analysis and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully, you know, enhance your watching experience, which basically means sell you more tailored ads. If they know in the previous from previous events that you get excited every time a celebrity is shown on the camera, then they will prompt more feeds and show you who are the celebrities in the audience, stuff like that, to make it a more tailored experience, which is super interesting. Why also the story is relevant is because the NBA has always been the leader in innovation when it comes to American sports leagues. So anything that the NBA does quickly gets adopted by the other platforms. We have seen this a lot. And as they continue to innovate, all of this will follow, not just in the American leagues or in other leagues as well. So they're improving watch together functionality, but as they enhance a lot of those things, it also enhances their own personalized streaming service. All right, guys, that is it from me. As always, if you want to watch more from our channel, you are probably not on YouTube because we know most of our viewers are on LinkedIn. But that is our YouTube handle. Go check out our review videos. This week's video is not out yet. I have still not finished. Well, it's finished, but the editing got delayed. It should come out tomorrow. Otherwise, Instagram, Hello Sports Tech. Always follow that. TikTok, Hello Sports Tech. You know what to do. Check us out there. That is the show. 25 minutes and I am done. and I'm tired, and I'm going to go to bed. And I or Ben or both of us will see you next week. Ciao, guys. Have a good one.